Hey, this is B-Duck44 back with another horse racing video here. We're going to talk about all the 3-year-old stakes races that went on today. A lot of stuff we didn't expect to see happened, and it just makes it more confusing than what it already is heading into next month's Kentucky Derby. But first off, we're going to start with the Grade 2 Toyota Bluegrass Stakes. And Doug O'Neill shipping a maiden into the Bluegrass and probably what was the toughest race of the day. And a horse called IRAP, 31-1, I think he was, for Doug O'Neill. Absolutely stuns in here. He not a lot of pace, and IRAP kind of got on the front end and kind of got away with murder because he was just able to sit there and set an ideal trip. And this was a tough field. McCracken, great rally horse. And then you had Tappert for Pletcher, and then you had Practical Joke, which him and IRAP were just battling it out down the stretch, and Practical Joke just couldn't get to the maiden. Yeah, the maiden IRAP never won. So Doug O'Neill decides to put him in the Bluegrass Stakes, and of course the maiden wins, like we all predicted. But just McCracken, his trip was just a weird trip in general. He set off. It looked like he was going to make a move, and then he got taken back a little bit, and then re-rallied down the stretch to get up for third. And then Pletcher's horse Tappert, just a horrible start out of the gate. Just it was pretty much over after the start for Tappert. He never could get settled in, and had no late rally in him at all because the pace was so slow up front. He couldn't make up any ground on the leaders, which I was really high on Tappert, but that race today really, I don't know. I don't know if you can throw it out or just give him another a look in the Derby, but I think this horse is a lot better than what we've seen from him today. And so is McCracken. It, IRAP just kind of, it's one of them races where you don't expect, but it happened. A horse gets a lead on the front end, and nobody can catch him down the stretch. And now we're going to be watching him on the first Saturday of May run for the Roses. And it's just, it's crazy how some of this works out. But a horse I want to talk about out of this race is Practical Joke. He set a good trip. He was up on the lead the whole time, just off of IRAP, and the other horse Wild Shot, who just faltered and didn't show anything late. But Practical Joke, a horse that kind of, he had I forget what race it was he won early in the year, but had a good win and then kind of tapered off. And he shows up at Kingland today and runs a big one for Chad Brown. So I look for this horse to kind of, he's going to be bet a lot in the Derby. He'll probably be bet down. He'll probably be one of your top 5 choices come May. And but this race in general was just kind of weird because the pace did not set up at all for the closers, which Practical Joke, McCracken, and Tapper all kind of like to come off the pace. And Doug O'Neill's IRAP gets out and gets the tempo just where he wants it and rolls away with this thing late. You can't say roll because Practical Joke gave him everything he wanted down the stretch, but he just fought him off and showed a lot of heart and got the win for Doug O'Neill. And Julian Leparoux was riding, which we'll probably see Leparoux next week on Classic Empire in the Arkansas Derby. But yeah, the Toyota Bluegrass, I was totally off on it. My horse in there was Tappert, which the start absolutely just ended all that chance for him. And who knows what's going to happen, but just madness right there. But now we go to Santa Anita, where this field was just wide open, and you got and exactly what we all thought would happen in this. Just no telling what was going to happen. But it was Gormley for John Sheriff's getting the job done, setting off the pace and attacking late to get the win here in the Santa Anita Derby in a time of 151 over the mile and a 16th, or mile and 8, excuse me. But he kind of just set a good trip, and all the pace faltered. There was a quick pace early, and it set up well for Gormley. I don't think this field was really stout, and Gormley was just he has great bike class, from his 2-year-old season, which he had some good races. And today he kind of rejuvenated that. There's 3 horses I kind of put in the same class. You got Practical Joke, Irish War Cry, and Gormley. It seems like those 3 horses all run the same way and kind of fit the same style. And it's like they tapered off for a while, but today they all came back and showed what they were made of, which makes finding a Derby winner even more confusing because we all thought Pletcher's horse, Tappert, would step up today, which he had been improving, and he lays an egg. And McCracken, which was undefeated, and he comes out and loses to a maiden. And then Gormley shows back up, and not a strong Santa Anita Derby field, but he got the job done for John Sheriffs, and he's going to be making his way to Churchill Downs for the first Saturday in May. And this Derby trail is wide open. I think Gervin's a horse that's the one that could be the potential favorite, which he's done nothing wrong lately, and he just has been winning and winning with kind of ease. But so I put him as the front runner right now. And then you got Gunnavera in his last race, didn't really show up, which he's going to be in there with the. He'll probably be a top 8 betting choice, but his late running style is all. If he gets a good pace to run at, he could be a factor, but who knows what's going to happen. And then you got another horse, Todd Pletcher's Always Dreaming, which just romped in the Florida Derby. So he looks like another big top selection that people will be riding when we get to the day of the Derby. And another prep race that was today was the Wood Memorial up at Aqueduct, which it kind of turned into a 2-horse race down the stretch between Irish War Cry and Pletcher's Battalion Runner, which this was Battalion Runner's first big step up against these big time Derby horses, which he broke his maiden, and then I think Pletcher gave him an allowance race, which he won with ease, and then today he Irish War Cry and Battalion Runner were battling it out neck to neck down the stretch. And let me look and see who got third in that race. That was Cloud Computing for Chad Brown. He rallied late in there to get up for third. He's a horse that looks to keep improving. It might want to watch out for him. And then you had the second place finisher out at Santa Anita was Battle of Midway. Don't really know too much about that horse, but he came in second. But yeah, this after the day, the trail just gets so much more confusing. Anxious to see what happens in next week's Arkansas Derby with Classic Empire if he shows back up and finds his form of last year. Which, if he does that, you're gonna have some crazy odds in the Derby. Which your favorite might go off at 5-1, maybe 6-1. Who knows? With how even it is, and you're just gonna have people throwing bets everywhere. So if you like playing the superfecta, the tries, if you can figure that out this year, you're probably going to get a big payoff, and it's just going to be insane. And who knows, a horse like Iraq might pop up and win a Derby this year because that's how crazy it's been. Madness, March Madness. It's going to be May Madness with this year's Derby because no telling what the hell is going to happen. You got all kinds of horses, all kinds of different styles, front runners, which this year you don't have an American Pharaoh. You don't have a Nyquist, a horse that you can just say, no, he's going to win. You can't say that this year. It's so wide open. But can't wait to see what happens next week in the Arkansas Derby down at Oaklawn. It's going to be fun to see if Classic Empire can get the job done and just throw some more tricks for all those bettors out there to try to figure out. But as my breakdown for all the preps today, the Bluegrass Stakes, the Wood Memorial, and the Santa Anita Derby. Another day that causes more confusion on the Derby Trail, which is just what we needed, right? But it was a fun day, fun watching all the preps, And I want to thank y'all for watching this video. If y'all can, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think and give me some advice on who y'all think is going to win this thing, or who y'all like in the Derby coming up next month, because I need all the help I can get right now. It's just keeps getting more confusing and confusing with every prep race we see. But thanks for watching. Comment below and let me know what y'all think.